Hey folks, today we are drinking a free will beer. And if you haven't noticed already, my good friend, he's on this side, he's over here. Kyle from No Hype Beer Reviews is joining me.
What's up, Keith? Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
And thanks for the beer.
Pleasure. Oh, you are welcome. So this is this is Free Will Brewing. It is a Ralphius variant. It is 3-year Hoodoo and whiskey barrels. Imperial Stout aged for 2 years in whiskey barrels and an additional year in Hoodoo Chicory Liqueur barrels. Or in a Hoodoo Chicory Liqueur barrel. So yeah. Free will labels are always cool.
Yeah, they crush it.
And yeah, I need a bottle opener. So how are you doing, Kyle? Good.
Things are pretty good in my world. Yeah, just winding down the school year, and I got Bruno staring at me, wondering why I'm not apparently hanging out with him, or I don't know. How about you, man? Things are good?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I've got all sorts of things going on. I have to go to physical therapy in a week or so, and I got a filling like a month ago, and that's giving me issues. So I'm just having a blast over here.
Sounds it, yeah, yeah, sounds it.
But yeah, I'm doing okay, all things considered.
Good. So it's a pretty dark beer. Definitely some brown in there too, but it's mostly black, I'd say.
Yeah, basically no head. Just a little bit around the edges.
Yeah, not much.
If I knew you were using your free will glass, I would have used mine.
Oh, it's all good.
But yeah, you want to see what it smells like?
Yes. That's good. But
it is on that first whiff, it just kind of smells like chocolate syrup.
It's very chocolatey, which I like about this. Ralphius, base is it's chocolatey, and that's what I want in a beer like this. I would say that I'm getting a decent amount of like the oak and barrel aging, so I'm not surprised it's 3 years in barrels. Because like you do get an uptick in that oakiness. I didn't know, because Chicory, it's been a while since I've had Chicory in beer or just otherwise. But it's like that coffee thing, and I wouldn't say I get a ton of coffee in it. Now you haven't been drinking coffee for a little while, right? At this point? Yeah. But I mean, it's such a distinct thing. I think even non-coffee drinkers know what coffee. I mean, it's such a specific thing.
Yeah.
Would you say so? Because you might be more sensitive to it than me, who still drinks a cup of coffee almost every day. Do you get any sort of coffee chicory thing, or? I
don't. Not specifically. Like, there's a tiny, because it's chicory liqueur, so it's sweet.
Yeah.
I am getting a tiny little sweetness thing, kind of like around the it's not like up front or it's not in the back, but it's like kind of in there.
Yeah.
And I think that is coming from the liqueur because it seems like it's kind of a separate thing, but it's very small and it doesn't. I wouldn't say it smells like coffee or chicory or anything. It's just like a little additional sweetness.
I would say that might be why initially the chocolate syrup thing, because it's not like a roasty chocolate that's coming through. It's a very sweet chocolate, and it could definitely be playing a role in that. Yeah.
I just I don't know. I feel like every time I smell it, it smells different.
Right.
Because on that when I first smelled it, it basically all I got was chocolate syrup. Now when I'm smelling it, it's a little more like dark chocolate. There's more of it's not as sweet, even though I was just saying there is a sweetness.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I'm getting a little caramel. So my mind is a little bit more sweetness still with caramel. And I don't know if it's just because I'm looking for it or not, but like I was really trying to get in there, and I could see a little bit of this coffee roastiness, but it could just be the roastiness of the base. Because this does not have chicory added to it, so like it could just be a little bit of roastiness from the base beer. It does smell really good. I don't just to like put that out there. I don't know if we should, explicitly say like it smells awesome.
Yeah. Actually, that little bit of sweetness thing that I was getting, I think at least part of it is the caramel thing.
It's definitely an element.
Yeah, because when you said caramel, I was like, oh, that's the
that's the thing. Part of that.
Do you wanna get into it?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink. Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely a liqueur character to it.
Yeah. It's not.
Oh.
It's definitely like warming and stuff. It's not hot on my palate.
Right.
And it's hard to read. It's like 14.
Oh, I didn't even say the ABV.
I can't tell if it's a 0.0 or 0.8, a 0.9.
I think it's a 0.9.
Okay.
So I think it says 14.9.
But yeah, definitely chocolatey, little nutty to me. Definitely the barrel aging comes through in my opinion, a really nice way, like not overly oaky or anything.
Yeah. I think that nuttiness might be part of the chicory thing.
It would make sense.
Because in the finish, I do get a little bit of like a nutty kind of almost coffee thing.
It's like, somewhere like this nutty, earthy coffee. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
big chocolate.
Kind of like a roasted almonds, or not almonds specifically, but just like a roasted nut of some sort.
Yeah, more roasted than like a raw nut. Yeah. There, and that might go with a little bit of that smoky. It's not smoky, but like roasty. Again, it's going towards smoky, but it's not a smoky beer at all. Not full on savory like soy sauce or anything, but like dabbling. Like it's like this.
Right.
Yeah. Not full umami, but yeah. A little nuttiness. And yeah, again, kind of like, is it the aroma, or is it the like I was having with the aroma? Is it the base beer? Is it the chicory liqueur? There is a little bit of that roasty, almost coffee thing. It plays very well. What about like any fruit elements? Dried fruits or like a berry thing or. Maybe like a blueberry thing, but not a ton for me.
Yeah, there's something. There's something like part of me. There's something that makes me want to say apricot.
Oh, interesting.
Like dried apricot, but I don't know if that's because it doesn't really taste like apricot, but I think it's
here's a description. I don't think I've ever used, Keith, and it might be what we're both around. It's like almost like nondescript, generic dried fruit.
Yeah.
Like the almost like leathery dry fruit thing. So like caramelized sugar, but like caramelized fruit sugars.
Yeah, kind of like a fruit leather kind of thing.
Yeah.
That is, but more generic.
Yeah, like it's hard to pinpoint a specific, because you're right, like it's not apricot, but it's also not crazy that you said apricot, if that makes sense to people watching this, like it kind of, it's interesting.
But it's definitely a dried fruit.
like generically dried fruit almost. The more I'm sipping it, the whiskey specifically and the chicory liqueur is kind of like compounding, and I'm getting a little bit more of it each sip, at least if I'm taking relatively close together sips. Which, I mean, I want that stuff, I mean, it's been in, 3 years of barrel aging. I want those barrels, and I'm getting more and more of it in a very good way,
Yeah. I'm actually, it's surprising because I feel like I am getting more of the chicory barrel than the whiskey barrel. And I'm getting whiskey and stuff, but in the finish, I feel like the chicory kind of takes over.
Yeah.
And so overall, I'm getting more chicory liqueur barrel than I am getting the 2 years of whiskey barrel.
Yes. And which kind of a little licorice, and then it kind of flips from the aroma that way, where it was more right. And there's some legitimate
as soon as you said it, I got it. As soon as you said it,
it's legitimately black, real black licorice taste, and not like anise, however you pronounce it, not like stuff fennel seed that's similar to black licorice, actual black licorice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of flips from the aroma where I got more of the whiskey and less of the chicory liqueur, but in the taste I'm getting more of the chicory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder why that is.
Yeah. I wonder if they aged it for 2 years in whiskey barrels and they needed to round it out with something.
Oh, that could be. Yeah. And yeah, adds, certainly there's more layers and depth and, to use the word complexity, it's a complex beer, but but it's still harmonious, and it's not like anything seems contradictory or whatever. It definitely works.
Yeah, because there is definitely barrel in this as well, and I think part of that part of that apricot thing that I was mentioning, it doesn't really taste like apricot, but I think part of that is some of the barrel, like the wood.
That's interesting. Yeah. I like that. They do have tasting notes if you want me to read them, or do you want us to keep talking about our thoughts first, or do you want to read them, or?
You can read them.
Yeah. Okay. Notes of black walnut. I mean, we said nuttiness. I don't know if I would have gone walnut specifically. Espresso.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that intense of a coffee. Neither one of us did. Licorice. Brown sugar. I mean, this sweetness, it's not just like you were saying, there's this added sweetness to it, but it's not just sugar. It's not just a simple syrup sweetness. There is a complexity. I said caramel, but and then chocolate covered fruitcake. That fruitcake thing's interesting based on what we're talking about with generic dried fruit stuff.
Yeah.
I'd say we're pretty in sync to their tasting notes.
Yeah, I think we basically said a couple of those were just lateral things.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, definitely in the same. Yeah, either we said exactly what they said, or very similar complementary things. For sure. Man, no, this is just every sip. It's just pleasant. It's just a nice sip. It's a lot going on. It all works. There's a lot of depth to it. These guys just crush it, dude. It's incredible how many they release per year. And I mean, I certainly haven't had a bad one. And I don't think I've even had one that I would say this is good. It's always great, really good, fantastic. They're just.
Are you talking about Ralphius specifically?
Well, I mean, I've enjoyed the non-barrel aged big beers that I've been able to try, thanks to you, from Free Will. Also, for sure, I would say everything I've had. They're one of those breweries that I think, again, people have had more experience than me, but I've had a decent amount thanks to you, and they just seem to do a lot of styles really well, which I think makes them a great brewery. That's to me one of the marks of what can make a brewery great, and I think they're a great brewery for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually talking to somebody about Free Will probably about a month ago or so, and Free Will basically doesn't do anything bad. There are beers that they've done that are not like it's kind of more of like a style thing or the kind of beer that I'm not as into. But as far as like bad beer, I have not. And also like I've had like I've had like obviously their barrel aged stuff is awesome. But I've also had like low ABV lagers from them that are fantastic as well. So so it's like I don't know what the secret is.
They just seem, I don't know how big of an operation they have. I don't know how many brewers they have, but like a variety of styles that they do well. I mean, it's just impressive, you know? That's all I got, man. You got anything else about this before you wrap it up? Because I'm like taking over. This is your channel, man. We can keep going. Okay. We can keep going. I mean, it's not. We haven't hit 20 minutes, so is it really a 93 Lumber video? You know? Yeah. Do you have any channel updates or anything you gotta get out of your system right now?
I was going to ask you. I know you haven't had all of the Ralphiuses yet, but which one has been your favorite so far?
Oh, geez. Oh, man.
Just curious.
I'll say this because it's not like a big secret or anything. You know, I set aside beers I think are contenders for best beer of the year. You know.
Oh, and, if you don't want to talk about it, we don't.
No, it's fine. And I did set their the vanilla one aside because this year I'm going to do like best beer that has vanilla in it. Like I'm trying to change it up a little bit. Like still like I'll do like the best IPA I had this year, but I'm trying to get like some maybe fun, very oddly specific. You know, the best blend beer, like a beer that has multiple different beers that they cuvee together, like things like that. So right now, the vanilla one is a contender for. And is in first place for best vanilla beer I've had. I mean, it's tough because you're comparing great to great, you know, like it's just another great beer that I really enjoy. We have the people who make their beer, you know, we have a similar palate apparently of like what we like, you know, and so it's kind of easy to get excited about their releases that I get to try. Yeah. How about you? Do you have one that stands out or?
The Imburana or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, that's a fun barrel.
That was way cooler than I thought it was going to be. So that one stands out, but I really did like the base. Like
the base was really good.
I got a lot of because it was like spirit and wine barrels. I was getting a lot of like wine barrel stuff out of that. So
yeah, you know that because someone commented on one of my videos. It was probably the base one because I think in that video talking about, is this the first time that they've done wine or has it always been also wine? And I'm pretty sure I remember the comment correctly. They said this is the first year that wine was part of the base, and it didn't detract from anything. It only added to, you know, like it was just more stuff that tasted good together with everything else going on. It added, like we're talking about with this one, more complexity, more depth, and nothing was contradictory. I don't know when this will get posted, but I recently did one of my Saturday videos, and it was a Bourbon County prop that had coconut, strawberry, and vanilla in it, and it was less good than the base with that stuff in it. Like that, those things didn't actually tick it up. It was like I'd rather have, like, it was still good, but I'd rather have the base. Something like this, the base with the addition of wine barrel, it's like, yeah, like you took something great and you were able to take it up a notch, you know, like, so that's really impressive. It doesn't detract. It doesn't, you don't get the merits for any of the stuff being added. It's just even better. It's awesome.
Right.
All right. There'll be some editing, but we did just hit the 20-minute mark in terms of hitting the record. I'm just kidding. I will say this. So I don't know when Keith and I will have a chance to record it, but so this is on Keith's channel. Obviously, you guys are watching on his channel. And then we're going to do the port wine barrel aged one on my channel. And so be on the lookout for that too. We'll be doing another one together. And I just did, I don't know if you saw, I did the Angel's Envy spirit review.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was talking about, I have a bottle of port and you're the one who gave it to me. I still haven't had it yet. And just how much I love port. So I do love this, but I think that's the right one for me to put on my channel because of how much I love port. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with that said, you should go check out Kyle over at No Hype Beer Reviews.
It'd be cool.
I'll put his stuff in the description box and whatever. And I mean, you probably already watched Kyle's channel if you're watching this. So, so yeah. And then, whenever I have people on, I always forget what I do at the end. So
right, it throws off the rhythm. People make fun of me when it happens to me. I'm like, no, like it does. It throws off the rhythm of doing it solo.
So I will say thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
Cheers, Keith. And usually you say something like, I hope you're doing well, or
oh yeah, I hope you're doing well. I have a whole thing.
Yeah. I just want people watching, hope you're doing well.
Yeah, exactly. Cheers.
So good.